Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. For you to have a functional relationship with anyone or anything, you must have trust. And the easiest way to atomize trust is lying. If you lie about things, even little things, like where you went this afternoon, or what the price of something was, or how much money you spent, like that means you can't trust somebody. So if you'll lie about little things, you'll lie about big things. And it's the big lies that are coming crashing down right now, whether it's like who killed JFK or what January 6th actually was, the pipe bomber, the Gretchen Whitmer Fed napping, Jeffrey Epstein list, so on and so forth. When you find people and you catch institutions that you're supposed to trust in verifiable lies, that's how you destroy trust forever. And it proves a cover-up. It proves someone's not telling you the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, something dark is happening in Minnesota. I get the suspicion that we're being lied to here. I don't know if you have that feel. I'm telling you, something's off, man. Something's off. This is Vance Bolater. This is him in a Walter White mask, ripping open the doors of elected officials in Minnesota and attempting murder. Some successful, some not. Either way, it's horrifying. We disavow it. It's totally evil. We're glad he's been caught, although it's very strange. His capture on the run for 48 hours had what looks like special ops forces hunting him down. It's got that MK Ultra look in his eyes. There's so much that we don't know about this guy or what his motivations were. And now it seems like potentially the authorities are lying to us about his motivations. All over your social media feed, you'll see that this individual who's wearing the Walter White mask going up and trying to shoot elected officials, that he's MAGA and he's a Trump supporter, but they don't give you any evidence of that. All they do is just say those things. I can show you the direct evidence that he worked with and for Tim Walz and was appointed by Tim Walz to a very powerful position. I have the signature, the documents. His wife worked for Tim Walz. She worked with Tim Walz in Washington, D.C. when he was a member of Congress. I can show you the boards that he served on and the groups that he ran, like a relocation of Africans to Minnesota group. Not exactly MAGA activity, but neither is murder. MAGA is not a violent organization. Meanwhile, leftism and Democrat activism has violence rooted deep in their bones. So what exactly is going on here? And who the hell is in this mask and why? It was the Walter White mask. And what we'd come to believe, based on the police testimony, is that wearing his Walter White mask, and the Walter White, of course, is a reference to this scene, this famous scene out of Breaking Bad, where he says, "I'm the one who knocks."
I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Right? So this is a very famous line, very well-known series. And here is the knocking and the danger. Okay? Dark, poetic. But we were led to believe that the police just went and, they were doing a check-in and they caught him, in the process of some type of, horrible activity, and that they riddled the home with bullet holes. They tried to, they got into a firefight. These are allegedly the police bullet holes in the home of the murdered Speaker of the State House. Melissa Hortman's her name. He was, Vance Bolater was going to go kill her, and he got in a firefight with police, exiting the home, right? Because this is what we had been told.
Yeah, briefly, although I'm just going to remind us that this is an absolutely active investigation. We have thousands of people sheltered in place in the city of Brooklyn Park right now. We are in an extensive manhunt involving hundreds and hundreds of police officers and SWAT teams searching, gridding off areas, as we believe confidently the suspect had fled out the back of the house after being confronted by the police.
So he fled out the back of the house after being confronted by the police. Got it. I mean, you're left to just assume that the police arrived. They caught him, and as he was trying to flee, he ran away. It seems implausible, I suppose. He's not in great shape. Vance Boulder's limping. He's overweight. Doesn't look like he can really do a flight of stairs. But now we learned something that has blown my mind, for lack of a better way to say it. Get a load of this. In the most recent press conference, the authorities are now admitting that they caught Vance Boulder before the murders. This is insane. So they catch him wearing his creepy-ass Walter White mask. They catch him in this getup right here. They catch him looking like this. This guy. Police don't stop him. They let him enter the house of Melissa Hortman, commit his murders, and then escape. Ladies and gentlemen, something is horribly wrong here. If it's just the belligerence of the police department, I don't know what it is. Listen to the authorities explain, no, we let him go into her house and murder after engaging in a firefight with him.
As if he was a police officer. Belter approached Representative Hortman's home, again dressed as a police officer, wearing the tactical vest and body armor, and wearing that hyper-realistic mask. He was armed and carrying a flashlight. Before he entered the home, 2 Brooklyn Park police officers arrived at the scene. They too had been dispatched to check on Representative Hortman after learning of the shooting of Senator Hoffman. When they arrived at the scene, they saw Belter's black SUV parked in the driveway with the emergency lights flashing, and they saw Belter standing in front of the house several feet from the door. When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He rushed into the house through the front door, firing into it. He repeatedly fired into the house, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
I just have to pause this right now. You're telling me that the officers caught him outside of the home before anyone had been harmed or anyone had been hurt. He had not entered the home. They engaged in a firefight with him, and then after losing the firefight, or running away, they let him enter the home of the representative, Melissa Hortman, who was the Speaker of the House. Then the officers sat there as he committed the murder. That's what he just said. This is the lead investigator for the state. So the officers allowed the murder to happen and sat there and did nothing. Let him escape? My mind is blown. I am sickened and repulsed. I chilled to the bone. I'm sickened by this. What has happened to our police forces? Maybe that is the real conversation we should be having here. What's happened in Minnesota? I mean, obviously, you're well aware of what's happened in Minnesota over the last couple of years with the police forces. This is what happens when you emasculate your police. They sat there and let the murder happen.
The Brooklyn Park police officers fired at Belter as he rushed into the home, but he escaped into the home and out the back. Officers recovered Belter's 9mm Beretta, along with the body armor and the mask, behind the home along his path of flight when he fled on foot. They later searched Belter's car, where they found 5 more firearms, including assault-style rifles and a large quantity of ammunition. Belter also had in his car notebooks containing a list of more than 45 Minnesota state and federal elected officials, including Representative Hortman. Now, Belter planned his attack carefully. He researched his victims and their families. He used the internet and other tools to find their addresses and names, the names of their family members. He conducted surveillance of their homes and took notes about the location of their homes. He also prepared in other ways. He concealed himself as a police officer, outfitting his black SUV with police lights and a police license plate, wearing a black tactical vest and body armor, carrying a police flashlight and a handgun. And of course he wore that hyper-realistic silicone mask as seen on the surveillance videos. The video of his arrival and shooting of Senator Hoffman is truly chilling. Again, it's no exaggeration to say this is the stuff of nightmares.
No, what's the stuff of nightmares, you jackass, is the police officers engaging this creepy masked dude, clearly breaking the law, impersonating a police officer. The police just saw this guy, armed to the teeth, impersonating a police officer. You can see here the cherry lights on his car. You can see his car. You can blare. The cops, the local Minnesota cops, saw this guy, saw that he was armed. He opened fire on them, and what did they end up doing? They knew that they were at the house of an important elected official. They were sent there to check on her because this was his second attempted murder of the night. Before he had harmed anyone, the police end up getting into a firefight with him, and instead of the police officers stopping him, because there's multiple of them, and there's a lot of ways you can stop someone, they just let him go do the killing. They stood outside while he went inside and committed murder, and they did nothing. And then they let him escape. My mind is blown. This is incredibly depressing. Officers arrived at the scene before Vance Boulder even entered the home. Got into a shootout, let him go into the home, and then take the lives of Melissa Hortman and her husband, and then they let him leave. I mean, it's one thing if you're just like, maybe you're creating a perimeter and you're just trying to like stop him. It's like, okay, then you stop him, or hopefully you charge in and you stop this horrible act. You take the front, I'll take the back, right? No, they let him escape. They ran away. The cops ran away. The cops ran away and did nothing. They left her to die. Oh, it's awful. Oh, it's just sickening. More inconsistencies. Get ready. There's no manifesto. Okay. So we've heard about his manifesto. Again, this guy has a very creepy and very strange background. Be nice to hear what he actually thinks about all this. We've heard officers mention his manifesto before.
Tell you, when we did a search of the vehicle, there wasn't a manifesto that identified many lawmakers and other officials. We immediately made alerts to the state.
Okay, there's the manifesto. Last night, they asked about the manifesto.
At this point in time, it would be premature. The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received, is their motivations? We are working diligently on...
Okay, so he says, yeah, we're working on the manifesto, and you're probably not going to get it anytime soon, right? So that's what this guy says. So the one officer, there's a manifesto. Second officer, yeah, we're working on it. And then now today, there's no manifesto.
Have families and children and privacy interests that they need to sort through. So I'll let them do that. With respect to the potential motive, let me say this. There's been a lot of press coverage and speculation and discussion of a manifesto. I've seen nothing like a Unabomber-style manifesto in his writings. He had many, many notebooks full of plans, lists of names, surveillance, efforts that he took to surveil and locate the home addresses and family members' relationships with these elected officials. But I have not seen anything involving some sort of political screed or manifesto that would clearly identify what motivated him. Obviously, his primary motive was to go out and murder people. Now, they were all elected officials.
Okay. I guess it's good. Puts down fake news stories, right? But then also, it leaves us with the evidence that we have. The evidence that we have. He was appointed by Tim Walz. It got the signatures, got the paperwork to prove it. His wife worked for Tim Walz. He was working for a left-wing NGO to bring Africans and resettle them into the state of Minnesota. He was a manager at 7-Eleven and then was like promoted to the CEO of some big security company and this creepy dark money NGO. That's strange. That's insane. This whole thing does not add up. Yes, something went horribly wrong here, or someone's lying to us. These seem like very big things to omit early on in the investigation. Manifesto thing, and that the officers did nothing. I don't know exactly what to make of this. I don't want this to happen. I don't like it. It seems very strange to me. It seems extremely dark, and it doesn't seem like we're getting the full truth here. So we're going to keep asking, right? And this is our obligation. You must be able to ask questions as tough and as strange and uncomfortable as they make you feel. And that is the only way to find the truth. Who is Vance Bolitor? Why did he do this? He has 5 children. He seemed to have like a perfectly okay and stable life. How's he living out in like a mansion on like a huge property? He lives on like in this massive estate. How's he do that? Where's the money come from? What is his motivation? He was caught alive. So maybe we'll find out more. I don't know. Was it even him in this mask? Was this him? Doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more answers. We have more questions than we have answers right now. But at least we're looking and asking. Promise you that.